Now, listen, I don't expect this journey to be an easy one. I know there'll be some challenges along the way, but it's in my heart, and I know that I have to get this thing done. Now, I just want to be transparent for a moment and discuss my fears. I just have a few fears about, okay, Lord, will folks accept me in these other countries? Will I find a sense of community that I don't necessarily have here? How will it be being the only child, being so far away from my mom, who is my biggest soldier and my biggest cheerleader in my corner? And, I'm so close to her. How will these things go? Now, one thing I can say from a spiritual side, I am a spiritual person. I love the Lord. We do have to go into this world sometimes, and our mission demands that we actually are separate. So while there are fears there, I'm still not going to be alone. He's going to be with me, and you will be with me. I'm so excited to have started this channel because that means I get to build a family within YouTube who will be with me along this journey. And perhaps whatever I'm doing will lead you to the destination that your heart desires, but you just didn't know where to start or how you're going to get there. I'm no different than anyone else. I've gone through some things in life that were kind of, shaky, and some things that were great, highs and lows. But at the same time, those things have all occurred here within the United States. And it's like all we know is the trauma that we see inside. We get used to the rigmarole of the day, work, home. Sometimes you can go out with friends, sometimes you can't, and just the hustle and bustle. And so I think the greatest thing that I am excited for is being able to go into another country and experience a slower pace of life. Now, granted, there are some places where it's a little busier. You can get, that fast-paced life, or you can go to another country and you get the slow-paced life that you desire. But I think for me, the greatest part about wanting to move abroad is just seeing what else is out there into the world. The United States is not everything that's out here. It's not the end all. It's not the be all. For some people, it's an American dream. And for a lot of people, it's an American nightmare. But I do thank God that I have it in my heart to be able to go out and to explore the world and to go meet some other people who moved and are doing very well in other countries. And I'm so very excited to be able to be a part of one of those people who can tell the story to their children or their grandchildren moving forward about the things they've done outside of the United States. For my channel, I decided I want to be the one who kind of leaves a trail of breadcrumbs along the way for people who want to move as well, of what it's like to start day one here, still in the United States, and we plan and we prep together before we go. So I'll be documenting visas. I'll be documenting how to save before you get there. I'll be journaling how to actually get out there and find affordable flights. And then also how we can go about going on many trips to see if we like the countries that we're interested in before we move there. I don't think it's wise for anyone to move their life without having gone to do their own research. Don't just take my word for it. You actually have to do the work on your own. Sometimes in this world, we've gotten to the point where people just want to be spoon-fed everything, but we have to do the work on our own as well, because this is actually our life. No one else can tell you how it's going to go based off their highlights and their reels. This is your life. You have to see what countries align with your morals, the things you want to do. If it's going to help you financially grow, can you take a business there where they allow you to stay there permanently? If you decide that, hey, I would love to live there, can I buy land there as a foreigner, or do I have to be a person that is actually born from here? Even if I marry someone, we buy land together. Will that land be ours, or if we divorce, will that land just be theirs because they were naturally born there? There's so many things you have to consider before you move, and I don't want you to take anyone else's word before you do the research on your own. Now, for a very long time, I've watched a few young ladies on YouTube who I absolutely love, who are doing very well in other countries and are documenting the highs and the lows that they go through, and they're already in that country. They haven't told us how they actually got there. It's like, sis, that's so nice, but how you get there? What did you do? What were the first steps? And like anybody else, it was my responsibility. And I decided to just research. There are plenty of things that I'm doing to prep myself to be able to move abroad. The first thing I'm doing is using Google. Google is your friend. YouTube is your friend. And research is your friend. I take my handy dandy journal. This is my journal. It says I dwell on possibilities. That's what we all should be doing. We should be dwelling on possibilities. And I've already filled out a lot of things. I have some airports and things that I've written down, some search engines for how you get affordable flights, some countries where the visas allow you to extend for quite some time if you choose to do their educational visa. Perhaps you just want to, learn another language. And so sometimes there is a visa for you to be able to stay because you're learning the language within that country. It might extend you to about a year and a half and sometimes 2 years if you're a student in that location. But with those things, you would have to definitely make sure that you have some type of income coming in, because they usually have a limitation on how much you have to make outside of that country before you can go. Or there's the extension that you can do if you're doing the digital nomad visa. A lot of countries are starting to actually love that digital nomad visa because it's bringing a lot of foreign income and money to them. So they're extending and opening up that digital nomad visa. But that means we would have to make sure that we have prepped ourselves to be able to receive money while we're already over there, because a lot of those countries are not going to allow you as a foreigner to come in and take the jobs from the locals. They're already going through financially over there. So to go over there and think that you can just get a job in every country, that's not the case. So be a little more responsible and make sure that you have things lined up before you go. Let's not move on impulse. Now, listen. I am a human being, and so therefore I do have some fears about the possibility of moving away, and I don't know what's going to go on in another country. When you're in your own backyard, you know how you can maneuver and navigate the systems that are there. But somewhere else, it's completely new. You don't know the politics, you don't know the rules, you don't know the regulations yet. All you can do is research ahead of time. So I do have the fear a little bit of moving abroad, but at the same time, I know that I'm being driven to do this in my heart. My faith is going to take me a very, very long way. So I refuse to just sit here and not move on what has been given to me. And I'm so grateful that God has decided to put me on this journey, and I can't wait to document with you. All right. So let's discuss the recap of what Kendra Connects is all about. It's about documenting our journey along the way of where we're going and what our heart desires. It's about making sure we're responsible for where we're going and how we're going to get there. We're not going based off anybody else's highlights, reels, suggestions. We're doing our own research. We are praying on our own to see if that thing is designed for us to do, and we're going to do this thing together. So if you have a journal, a pencil, a pen, a will, a plan, follow along, and together we can do this thing. Now, feel free to leave a comment down below about your fears and your excitement about a journey that you want to start, or if there are any questions along the way that you have for me about, hey, is there a way that we can follow along with you? Because there's some things that I'm working on this channel that I get out to all of my supporters. Thank you so much for watching. And this is Kendra Connect, and I'll see you on the next one.